year, or just thinking about those last two games, how much does it cross your mind that they haven't punted the last few times we played?
Yeah, I think we got to compete better. I just think when you draw up anything, plays, any of that stuff, like at the end of the day, it's going to come down to just how well you can compete, how well you can make a play. And I think that's what it's about. It's no secret. I mean, defensively, we haven't played well the last two times we played them, and that has to change if we want to have a chance to win. We got to play way better defensively. We know they have one of the top 3 offenses in the whole NFL. Like, that's no secret. Everyone knows that. They have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and you're going to have to come out and do that. These are the games that if you want to consider yourself a good defense, you got to come out and play well. So we know it's not going to go perfect. They're going to make some plays. They have really good football players over there as well, but we got to make some plays. We got to compete. We got to get off the field on third down. It's going to be a long night. We can't let them just march up and down the field, and I would say the last 2 games have definitely turned into that, and, especially the playoff game. But I always say, like, to be angry about the game doesn't matter. It's about this game. It's about executing, playing better, not, having a jersey of a player in our locker room and saying, like, this is like, that stuff doesn't matter. We got to come out, compete, and play hard and do a better job than we did at the end of the year last year in the playoffs.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. We have a Patriots-Bills matchup staring us right in the grill mix. We're going to get to that with the Senator Phil Perry and bring in Tyler Dunne as well, longtime Bills and NFL scribe, who's going to give us some insight on the Bills and this matchup. And finally, we have irrelevant questions with Jonathan Jones. But why is this Bills matchup, to me, so seismic? Because this is the test. This is who the Patriots are chasing. It's the reason the 2 outcomes against the Bills in 2021 that they revamped their entire defense. Jettisoned guys like Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, although he's come back. Imported speed. The Bills are the team the Patriots are competing with, regardless of where Miami is in the division. That's first place right now. The Bills are the gold standard. The Bills are the team that Bill Belichick looks at and says, if we want to go anywhere, we have to get through those guys, because that will be the key, the divisional crown, to first-round buys, 2 paths to the Super Bowl. And those still matter for the Patriots. Of course they do. They want to get back there. So are the Patriots ready for this matchup? For a 6-5 team in the 8th spot in the AFC, this could be their biggest win in a long, long time if they're able to secure it. Can they pull it off? No better guy to ask that question of than Phil Perry. Get in here, peeps. PP? Peeparoo? Hey, Phil. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Apologizing in advance. Can't be happy about the way that unfolded. How are you?
I'm doing well. I like you, though, am interested to see how the defense performs, because even though they tried to revamp it, it still, to me, kind of feels like the same old Patriots defense. And look, they've played really well this year, and they've taken care of business against some really bad quarterbacks and some bad offenses. And right now, if you're a DVOA person, they're still the number 1 defense when it comes to DVOA. But, Tom, we're recording this fresh off the news that Jelani Tavai has signed an extension with the Patriots for the next couple of years. And I find it, congratulations to him, and he has had a good year. I just find it interesting that this happens 2 days before they face Josh Allen, because they were supposed to change based on what happened last year. And yet still their 2 most frequently used linebackers are 250 pounds. It's Juwan Bentley and it's Jelani Tavai. Jelani Tavai's played more snaps this year defensively than Kyle Duggar has. Never mind Jabril Peppers or, some of these other players that
he had a very good hit last week
that we thought would be really important pieces at the second level to change how they look. They're still a big linebacker, man-to-man defense.
He had a good hit last week, though.
The one at the goal line that led to a touchdown?
No, the one in the middle of the field, like he just blew somebody up, just perfect form tackle.
Yeah, he's not bad, Tom, but he is.
No, it is funny when you point that out. I hadn't put 1 and 1 together on that. The Raekwon McMillans and the Mac Wilson seniors and the presence of Kyle Duggar at the second level. those are the things that you want to have make a difference for you in terms of being a speed team. But in the end, when you're dealing with Josh Allen, don't you need a 250-pound guy to deal with a 250-pound guy? That's what the Bills operation is so hard to deal with, in my estimation, for the Patriots. As you said yesterday, the Bills remain a horrible matchup. Running quarterback, great red zone defense, a legit number one and number two, one of the best pass rushing units in the league, generating a lot of pressure without blitzing like the Jets and Colts. Patriots are fortunate they won't see Von Miller. I'm just reading from just an email that Phil burped out because it was good. But still some talent on that front. Bill has to hope that Allen continues to play strangely. Since beating Kansas City in Week 6, Josh Allen is third in the NFL in turnover-worthy play rate per Pro Football Focus, behind only Zach Wilson and Kyler Murray. And still, the Bills seem to have a significant gap against the Patriots. Maybe the Patriots, maybe the Detroit Lions can be shut out by the Patriots and be competitive with the Bills, but the matchup, as you point out, Phil, is still, it's hard to squint and see how the Patriots are going to hang with this.
There's just so much that the Bills do that I'm not sure the Patriots defense, which is supposed to be the unit that carries them, I'm not sure they excel in those areas. Again, running quarterback. What did we see against Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson? Again, a true number one receiver in Stephon Diggs, the same way you saw a true number one with a competent quarterback just last week with Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. Now you're going to see a true number one with one of the best quarterbacks in football. And even if Josh Allen is a little diminished, Tom, and we know he's dealing with that injury, he actually was listed as a full participant in practice earlier this week, despite still dealing with the elbow injury. It's still listed, but he was a full participant. You know, I don't know if that's changed his game at all. The guy is still a phenomenal talent, even with a potentially raggedy elbow. I mean, I just go back to that Vikings loss, and I know he threw a pick to lose the game, and that's a problem. Don't get me wrong. He still puts it in harm's way too often. He's trying to play hero ball. But the reason he plays hero ball is because he's kind of a superhero. I mean, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 9, like no situation is an impossible situation for him because of the physical skill set that he has. He can still drive the ball to the sideline, 20 yards down the field on a line. He can still run over a linebacker down the field if in open space and break a tackle for an extra 10, 15, 20 yards. So he's a monster, man. He's so much fun to watch. He makes it look really, really easy because he's just so physically gifted. The Patriots haven't seen him yet this year. We know what it looked like last year. There's no comp for Josh Allen with any of the competition that they've faced this year. So I can't envision how they're going to be able to handle him.
Look, here's the interesting thing about Allen right now. It looks like his accuracy is a touch off. So can the Patriots play man everywhere against Buffalo and hold up and put his precision and lack thereof relative to what it usually is in harm's way? Because in the last two games against the Patriots, Josh Allen is 51 for 72, 8 touchdown passes, no picks, no sacks. Additionally, 18 carries for 130 yards. Can they play man and try to make him more fine?
They can. I'm sure they will, right? They are still a man-heavy defense. But the issue you run into against a running quarterback is when everybody has turned and run with your playmakers, whether it's Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, whoever it is, you turn your back to that quarterback, he's completely willing to run down the middle of the field, run around the right edge, and create an explosive play with his legs. So I think you have to be willing to play a little bit of zone unless, and the one thing you could do potentially, I could see them doing this, is use somebody like Mack Wilson, who was used as a spy in both of the games against the Jets and Zach Wilson, who has a little bit of mobility, obviously. Maybe you spy him with Mack Wilson, but even Mack Wilson, I don't love that matchup for the Patriots in the open field. Mack Wilson versus Josh Allen. Maybe you have to use two, create a rush plan where maybe you sacrifice a number or two in the rush just so that you make sure he doesn't kill you with his legs.
I like it. I like it better, sadly, than I liked Jamie Collins out on the edge last year against Josh Allen on a key 4th down play, and he got stepped through. I mean, even if Jamie Collins, athlete extraordinaire, although in his 9th year in the league at this point. Can't deal with it. Give me somebody faster. Mac Jones. Last year, the Bills kind of gummed up the middle of the field and forced him to try and throw wide, which highlights a shortcoming relative to the rest of the league of Mac Jones. Zip. He doesn't have a ton of it. If he winds up, he can throw it down the field with anybody. But zip to the sidelines is an issue, as is basically the Patriots uncovering one-on-one in matchups. A strength of the Bills, secondary play, cornerbacks. Mac in the last 2 games against the Bills, 38 for 70, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, 4 sacks. I will say this, he was kind of the least of their problems in the second meeting with the Bills last year. But Phil, I think he's going into this game with a scheme plan that is probably not, is going to be very rudimentary. I can't see him lighting it up.
The unfortunate thing for them is that it's been pretty rudimentary week after week after week. Even last week, you listen to some of the commentary, Kurt Warner talking about that Vikings game. And even though the stats looked good to him, he sees the same concepts again and again and again. And yet he also sees a lack of detail on those concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll talk about this on the next Pat's podcast a little bit this week, but his bottom line for the Patriots offense right now is it's all well and good if you're going to run a few plays, but you better run them well. And you better have your details down on those handful of plays and those handful of concepts that you want to use. And the Patriots still going into December here are lacking in that area. So can you be rudimentary against a pretty good defense and survive, in the elements? It's not going to be a dome game like it was on Thanksgiving. It looks like it's going to be about 40-ish degrees during the day. It'll probably get, I would imagine, close to freezing by Thursday night, although rain, snow, not expected. Can the Bills take a similar plan, force the Patriots to go outside the numbers through the air and have success? I would try it if I were them. And until you prove me otherwise, continue to do what worked for us in the past.
You talked about details offensively, and we see it kind of on a weekly basis, whether it's Nelson Aguilar slowing down on a route, key 4th down route, and Mac throwing a catchable ball against Minnesota in a key moment, or Hunter Henry getting tripped on a route, and we focus on the flag that wasn't thrown. But why is Tyquan Thornton right on top of him? Timing, spacing, all of those things are details that the Patriots have not been on offensively, and they've not been on a lot. Check out these numbers. In the last 8 games, the Patriots have had 81 runs or completions that went for 0, 1, or 2 yards. 0, 1, or 2. So if it's 2nd and 10, excuse me, 1st and 10, you're either looking at 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, or 2nd and 8. They've also had 30 negative runs or completions. So if you're looking at 1st and 10, you're then looking at 2nd and 12. They've also had 26 sacks, 5 picks, 4 fumbles, and 53 accepted penalties in the last 8 games. It's 196 plays. 196 plays have either gone for minimal gain or, more significantly, for losses. Here's Bill Belichick, though, when the penalty conversation was brought up to him in a Sunday press conference by Alan Siegel.
I did a dive on your penalties and found something unusual for your tenure here. Right now, at this time of year, you're 10th in the league in terms of most penalty yards. I'm wondering if this is just a year where, for some reason, the message is not getting through to some of the players in terms of mistakes and penalties at this time of the year.
Yeah, well, we didn't have any penalties last week offensively in Minnesota.
Yeah,
We're one of the least penalized teams in the league defensively. We haven't had very, we had a couple of penalties in the last couple of weeks, but we've been low penalties in the kicking game this year, and I think we're one of the least penalized teams defensively this year. So, and then last week we didn't have any offensive penalties in Minnesota. You tell me.
No, because like you said, I saw you in 10th, and that's just unusual for during your tenure here to be that up high at this time of year.
We've never coached penalties. Not high on defensive penalties.
Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Bill, you've unfortunately for you, you gave us 2 decades of brilliant football. We know what it looks like. This doesn't not look like that. So why pretend that it does? Or that it's trending in a great direction? This is beyond 20 touchdowns offensively so far for the Patriots this year. The only teams around that are, well, ironically, the Bucs, the Steelers, the Colts, Denver, and Houston. That's where the Patriots are living. Yet they have the highest paid tight ends by cap space, the 3rd highest paid wide receivers by cap space. They have plenty of talent on both sides of the ball. They're just poorly coached.
Yeah, I wonder. I come back to the why of it too. Why do you have to go there? You could say what you've said for a long, long time as head coach of this team, which is, we got to coach better. We got to play better. Starts with me. Those are kinds of things. Those are the kinds of phrases he used to wear out. And I'm sure we've heard them at times this year, but I do come back to why. Do you think, Tom, it's maybe some kind of lack of confidence that he's sensing maybe from the room? And so he's trying to project something when he's on the radio or he's behind a microphone so that maybe it trickles down to his players who may not be feeling great about how they've played in certain situations lately. But they're not dumb either. They know they've got issues. He doesn't have to handle it this way. And I don't really understand it.
I think he's trying to beat back at a tide of negativity about the team, fact-based negativity about the team and the decisions that he made. For instance, when he brings up, excuse me, the notion that the Bills didn't punt in the last 2 games and pushes back by rolling the special teams coach under the bus by saying that, I'm sorry, it was a punt lineup and the Bills converted a fake punt. Not only did he roll Cam Akers and the special teams under the bus and defend his defense, which again, it's Steve Belichick. So I don't like to engage in the, hey, he's protecting his son stuff, because I think Steve Belichick deserves the position he's in and does a good job generally. So does Gerard Mayo. But why are you rolling special teams under the bus and Cam Akers to defend the defense? And why were you wrong about it? That to me was bizarre to see that he was wrong about it. Not only did he push the special teams blowing a fake punt under the bus, he was wrong about it. So to me, I think he is trying to defend the decisions that he made to put people in different coaching positions. And again, I think Steve Belichick and Gerard Mayo and DeMarcus Covington and Brian, they're fine. They're not the problem. Are they? Am I overstating it? They deserve to be where they are, but they have flaws, Phil.
Yeah, they deserve to be where they are. And the Patriots, it's not like the Patriots are out of it. It's just a little too reminiscent to me of 2020, where, they weren't out of it either, I don't think, by this point in the season, and they ended up close to a 500 team. But that was a team that we knew probably wasn't really going anywhere. Maybe you could say the same about this one, but I feel like this team has more promise than that one did. So why do you have to approach it the same way? And 2020 really was supposed to be the reset year. That's the word that he used. That's how he described it in season that season to Sirius XM. And he's talking about the salary cap and how they got to figure things out. You kind of, in my opinion, you get one of those every couple of years, even if you're Bill Belichick. Now we're just a couple of years removed from that. And it just sounds similar to me, even though you're right in the mix. Just handle things the way you've always handled them. It was just odd to me how he has approached his availability periods this week.
Yeah. I mean, we know what we're looking at thanks to you, Bill. We're smarter football people thanks to Bill Belichick. Don't change on us now. All right, Phil, get out of here. We're going to bring in Tyler Dunne, talk Bills talk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in my guy, Tyler Dunne from GoLongTD.com, longtime NFL writer, really a talented writer and a guy who's been around the Buffalo Bills for years. How you doing, my friend?
I'm just smiling because I see Tom Curran and I have flashbacks to being an intern in Wisconsin the summer that Brett Favre tried to take his job back. And Tom Curran sees a shit-ass intern, in college behind him, grabs the recorder when Aaron Rodgers is talking, and reaches it over in the mob. I mean, that was insane that summer. So
It
Tom, it's good to
was.
see you. Everything comes full circle every time I see you.
It really does. It's so great to see you. Hey, is it going to be great for the New England Patriots to see the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night? Around here, I think the optimists are saying they could be had. They could be had, but the gap was so significant last year.
It was. I mean, it was a curb stomping, 2 of them to be exact. So I think that we all have the memories of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and Devin Singletary just doing whatever they wanted to against Bill Belichick's defense. But I think that this is a different Bills team. I think that they might be catching the Bills at a good time where they've got a lot of illnesses, they've got a lot of injuries, and nothing bigger than the elbow to Josh Allen. I mean, he's finding a way to win. I mean, they just won 2 games in 5 days when Orchard Park gets dumped down by 80-plus inches of snow. So that takes a level of resiliency. I think it's good for the team's soul to find a way to win. But this isn't the same Josh Allen. I think that the way he was able to just kind of snap the ball, kind of sidearm it, and make any throw from any angle that he's wanted to, that we saw in those 2 blowout wins, it's not that quarterback. Now, they can still win with the way Josh Allen is playing. I mean, his legs are dangerous. He's finding a way to make the plays late. He was able to kind of labor that big throw to Diggs against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. But I do think that they're kind of in a funk offensively. They miss Brian Daboll. And if you're New England, I know New England's got their own issues, but you're catching the Bills at a pretty good time right now.
Yeah. The interesting thing with Allen is he's been such a good thrower. We get to the point where we take it for granted. And just that tweaked elbow has taken his accuracy down an amount that makes you say, well, it's not a bad throw. It's just not a Josh Allen throw that comes in at 73 miles an hour, tight spiral in the spot that you need it to be. It's off. It's behind people. It's a little wobblier. So I wonder if the Patriots might try and play some man against this Bills team and make him be accurate and pinpoint and take their chances. But the problem is it's a pretty good flotilla of offensive firepower and skill positions who can beat the Patriots in one-on-one situations, from Diggs to Knox to Davis, up to and including Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, my co-host. We have a show with Isaiah McKenzie at Go Long, and I mean, he's a guy that came out of nowhere in New England last year, right? This is the Bills kind of made him out to be a scapegoat when they got stomped by the Colts. Isaiah had a fumble that game, disappeared. He's inactive. He's not even playing on Thanksgiving Day. Lo and behold, everybody gets COVID. They've got no choice but to play him against New England, and he had the game of his life. So he had a really good game against the Lions. And you talk about man-to-man, that's right in Isaiah's wheelhouse. He's got speed to kill. I think that he could be a factor in this game. Gabe Davis hasn't really taken the step, though, that they need. I think that they really thought that Gabriel Davis as that X number 2, getting one-on-one coverage with all the attention that Stephon Diggs is going to get, would just blossom. He had the big game against the Steelers. Outside of that, a lot of drops. He's good for one just brutal drop a game, it seems. They need him to really step it up if this offense is going to, get into 4th, 5th gear.
The Patriots really altered the way they do their business, in my estimation, completely based on what they saw happen to them against the Bills, both sides of the ball. Defensively, they wanted to get faster. They've tried to do that, but Buffalo still has speed. And I look at their running game with Devin Singletary and really Josh Allen. Those 2 players are the running game to a large extent. And Josh Allen, as a runner, I think he had 18 carries for 126 yards in the last 2 meetings against New England. So against dual threat quarterbacks so far this season, Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson, the Patriots have not fared well. Will Josh Allen in this divisional game with a team that he needs to continue to win with? This ain't preservation time for Josh Allen, is it? He'll be running.
You're right. He's not thinking long-term, right? Cam Newton breaking down after 7-8 years and what this could be doing to his longevity. I mean, the team's going to have to protect him against himself at some point. I mean, he's your franchise player. You're paying him more money than anybody in Buffalo sports history. You need Josh Allen healthy, and these hits add up. So that's a whole other conversation, because I agree with you. I think right now, for the sake of the offense, for them needing Josh Allen to run, he will run. Will there be designed quarterback sweeps? Probably not. But a lot of plays are breaking down. They've got injuries on the offensive line. Deion Dawkins being nicked up. I think that you're going to keep seeing Josh Allen use his legs, especially with that superpower of his, that right arm, that howitzer, to just fit it into any, thread any needle possible on a field. He just can't do that with where his elbow is right now. So he's going to run. That's not a bad plan B, because nobody's been able to figure out Josh Allen as a runner in key moments.
Yeah, he's so friggin' big. I mean, you look at Judon, as Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and he's as big as Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So that's
6'5",
the difference.
250.
It's just a lot.
You're right.
It's a lot of human coming at you at velocity. Last question, then we'll let you go. There is a level of relishing that Sean McDermott must take in having sway over the Patriots. How important are these Bills-Patriots games still? Have they had their hunger to humble the Patriots satiated?
That's a great question, Tom, because you could see in Sean McDermott's expression, not just his expression, but his words. And after the win game, when Bill Belichick wins, throwing the ball 3 times in the wind.
I forgot about that.
Seen, this is a coach who ends the careers of coaches, ends the careers of quarterbacks. Hello, Zach Wilson. We'll see where he goes from here. McDermott looked like psychologically damaged. My buddy Matt Fairburn, he asked him a question, and McDermott was like shaken in that press conference, and we've never seen anything like that. So for him to then go out and beat the Patriots, beat Belichick twice in convincing fashion, I think that psychologically did a lot, not just for the team, but for the head coach, because he has tried to lead the Bills, like a lot of coaches do, it through a Belichick kind of lens. And usually that doesn't work. He wasn't part of the Belichick coaching tree or anything like that, obviously, sure. But a lot of the same principles that we've seen Belichick use and building up the Patriots into this dynasty, I think he's tried to follow suit, and we'll see if it works out. But he does have the upper hand right now. You're right. I think that there is something that comes with that. This is a team that's just been owned for 2 decades by an entire franchise. If the Bills think they've turned a corner, they think that they're the bully on the block. Well, this is a game that's going to go a really long way toward that, because now you've got some adversity. Josh Allen isn't himself. You've got injuries around Josh Allen. Brian Daboll's not around anymore. You've got to find a way to win a game, you're favored to win on the road. If they do that, that's going to do a lot for McDermott and the Bills.
And the illness sweeping through. The Patriots have had the playing field leveled a little bit, at least in Buffalo's case, brought them back to the Patriots a little bit with the adversity that they're facing. But are the Patriots going to be in a position to make sure that gap is exposed? Tyler Dunne, hold up the book there, will you?
Yeah, here you go. The Blood and Guts, How Tight Ends Save Football. It's out everywhere books are sold, and got a lot of Patriots stuff in here. I visited with Ben Coates down inside Ben's home in North Carolina. Obviously a player that all your listeners are familiar with, but I don't think gets his just due in the history of the game. Just unbelievable what he played through, the life he lived, son of a World War II vet, building roofs from age 7 to age 20. Great to get to know Ben Coates. And obviously Rob Gronkowski. I think he's the greatest tight end ever. And to be able to talk to Rob, Julian Edelman, James Devlin, a lot of the Patriots, they had some wild stories to share. So definitely, if you're a Patriots fan, I think you'll love the Blood and Guts.
Feels like a nice Christmas gift, if I'm being honest.
Hey, a lot of Belichick in here too.
Hey, enjoy the rest of the week. Happy holidays.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother. Good to see you.
All right, appreciate Tyler Dunne. Now, Irrelevant Questions with Jonathan Jones, the cornerback. Enjoy Jonathan Jones. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on postgame and pregame live. We'll pregame live, and then the game, and then postgame live. Coming up. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jonathan Jones, Patriots cornerback extraordinaire. How are you?
Doing good. Can't complain.
This is a return engagement on Irrelevant Questions with Jonathan. Apparently, I didn't accept an answer from you before.
Yeah, you told me I couldn't say something.
And then listen to what the question was. And I don't even like this question. I said, people are generally, and you said?
Clueless.
Clueless.
I don't think you like me insulting people like that. We all are, including myself.
Well, that's not like me because I'm pretty abrasive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Folks, do you know that in high school in Carrollton, Georgia, that Jonathan was the third best hurdler in the nation? I thought hurdlers were taller.
That's what they say. I just need to be fast. I guess that worked too.
I mean, how did you find out you were a phenomenal hurdler?
I started young. I think everybody was running 100, 200, and I just wanted to be different, do something different.
So when you become a nationally ranked hurdler, are you traveling to trials and Junior Olympics? I mean, how's it work?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, Junior Olympics, I won the Junior Olympics once or twice, won the 110 hurdles. So, yeah, traveling around every summer, hitting different USA track and field, like youth events and stuff like that.
Were you the shortest hurdler?
Most of the time.
See, I think that's great. He's see, you'd never take him lightly. And he was taken lightly on draft day. He comes out of Auburn. He was undrafted, despite the fact that he bench pressed 225 pounds 19 times. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That's stupid. That is crazy.
Yeah. Most people don't expect it.
No. And you ran a 4.33.
That's it.
You know, you ever seen those spider charts that they do where guys have the extreme levels, the charts of like how good you are at different things?
Yeah.
Those spider marks must be way off the chart for you.
Looks like it. A little bit.
I'm not doing a very good job with the questions. We're going to pull them on now. All right. I'm going to go back in time. How did you spend the draft? You probably expected to go in the third or fourth.
Yeah. I mean, the first couple of days just hanging around the house, ended up having a cookout. That was embarrassing. You got your whole family there. You go undrafted. A little bit embarrassing. But then, give yourself 24 hours and you move on.
There's a lot of, like, it's all right, Jonathan. It's all right, JJ. A lot of back rubbing.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of those were subconscious. Like, we knew he's not going to make it, But no, it's a lot of support, a lot of family support.
Being the personality that I think you have, I bet you started feeling badly for the people who showed up not getting drafted. Like, you're letting them down.
Exactly. That was it. It was like, dang, like everybody came, they showed up, and like nothing happened. It was like waiting for the fireworks, and they never went off.
Bad job by me.
Yeah, right.
Why did you choose Auburn and not Georgia or Alabama, which are basically, Georgia's right there and Alabama's right over there?
Coach Lally, he was a defensive back coach, and we had like a personal relationship, and he was, a great coach and a great guy. So he recruited me, and it just felt like the right place for me. Felt like home.
When you went strutting into the stadium in Minnesota the other night, you were wearing a very interesting getup. We're going to throw it up right now. Brazil.
Yeah.
How come Brazil?
Go Brazil. Go Brazil. My son's Brazilian. Yeah, he's half Brazilian, so that's the.
And how old a man is he?
He's 7 months. He'll be 8 months next month. Yeah.
So he hasn't quite embraced.
No. He's baby Brazil.
But this is his first World Cup, so he's got to be over the moon.
I support for him.
This is one of my favorite portions of the program. It's called, Hey, what's your number? And it's when I ask you about your number 31. You've also had another number, if I'm not mistaken, while you were here, didn't you?
No, that was it.
You were 31 the whole time?
That was it.
I'm thinking of Harmon, maybe.
Okay, yeah. He switched up.
He was 29 and 30. Be that as it may. Yeah. In high school, you were number 2. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have any temptation to switch your number once they started allowing you guys to?
I definitely thought about it. I thought about it. Yeah, we'll see. 31 is just something, Coach gave to me when I first got here, and I just stuck with it, took it and ran with it. I thought about changing the number, but just never made the change.
Does it feel like it's you now?
Yeah, it's part of me, especially here. It's part of my journey here. You know what I mean?
You've had a really incredible journey here. Undrafted, make the team, make the contributions you do. You suffer an injury during 2017, unable to play in that Super Bowl. 2018, you're really a backbone of that Super Bowl win and charged to the Super Bowl by the work you did on Tyreek Hill. Where did your resilience come from?
My dad. I was just raised that way. Just the man he is, stand-up principles, and I've just been that way my whole life. Due to him, he just, he raised me that way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's a play by number 2, Jonathan Jones. He's going to come off the top edge. Jonathan, take us through this. I mean, just an instinctive player.
Quick pitch.
Oh!
Down he goes.
Look at this. Now, you were not concerned at all about the helmet-to-helmet on this. Take a look, folks.
No, that was before helmet to helmet. That was.
Oh, son.
That was it. That was me versus you. Let's see who comes out.
So that's not the only high school activity we have. This, of course, is probably the precursor to Irrelevant Questions. This was done down in by, I think, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Super 11. But this, folks, has to be one of my favorites.
My favorite superhero, Mr. Fantastic. You gotta love the name. Great superhero. Real smart guy, great scientist, and we can both do this.
You remember this?
Oh yeah. I remember because I wanted to be Flash, and they gave it to a guy who wasn't faster than me, and they let him be Flash. Yeah, I remember that.
So that's the kind of thing that sticks with you, huh?
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about resilience in life. We talk about, being able to move on, but that's the type of thing that a guy has to have stick in his cross. Somebody else gets Flash, who's certainly not a flashier guy.
That's it. You gotta take those licks and keep going. Keep going.
File them away for later.
That's
so,
it.
Nice job.
Appreciate it.
Have a great week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.